What is going on, my YouTube family? How is everybody doing? I missed you guys so much. Um, got a lot to talk about today. It's not going to be a long video, so please don't worry about that. But I know I've got a lot of requests to do a side by side of these two TVs. On the left side is the A95k and a 65 inch. On the right side is the LG G2 and the 83 inch. A lot of people asking me to just do a side by side with these two panels because that's just what they're requesting, and they're probably considering these two TVs. So I'm glad to do it for you guys. It was a lot of work to get the the A95k downstairs so I can do this side by side for you. That TV is heavy, man. With that base, it's really not fun. Let's to say the least. But I got it down here for you guys. I wanted to share this video. Again, it's not going to be long. Um, I'm just going to turn the light on really quick, a little bit. I just want to show you guys so you can see for yourself. The on the left side over here, you can tell by kind of just looking at the panel or the base. I'm sorry, it's kind of dark back there, but that's the A95K. And then, of course, the G2 over here on the right. Let me just put this back. So, first thing I want to say, guys, is I want to talk about what I like and what I don't like after owning these TVs for months now. Um, so you're probably going to be surprised at what I have to say because I know a lot of reviews kind of say a lot of stuff that's opposite, but of what I personally think. But again, I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I have my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion on their channels. But everybody has different preferences too. So everything is very subjective and really just up to what the individual prefers and what they use their TVs for. So, like for me, I really like TVs that really have pretty much the top of the line gaming features. Because I personally feel like if it's going to have the top of the line gaming features, it's probably going to have the top of the line um, content features or picture setting features or performance features. I feel like it's just kind of all bundles it and kind of covers all bases. So that's what I personally look for overall value with the TVs and what it offers. And I think a lot of people are going to agree with me. But first of all, I'm going to start off with gaming. So when it comes to gaming, guys, um, the these TVs right here, sorry for the blackout, let it load up. Um, these two TVs are kind of very different from each other in a sense because when you're gaming competitively, um, you're probably going to end up going with the G2. And the reason why I say that is for a lot of obvious reasons. The input lag is way better on the G2. You don't feel any input lag when you're playing competitively in the G2. You really, really do feel it when you're playing the when you're playing competitively, even casually on the A95K. It's not built. I mean, it's trying and it does a good job as far as the picture quality goes, but it's not built for, in my personal opinion, to game. It's just not. It's built for it to look beautiful visually, but as far as performance wise, I just don't feel like it's really 100% there yet. So, that's my personal opinion. But as you can see when you get closer and you're looking, visually, it's stunning. Like look at the A95K, right? And then you see how like the pictures are just sharper. It's got more color volume, things like that. It's not as grayed out. Um, you know, so that's why, like, I always say if you're playing competitively, you're probably going to go with the G2. I've always said that from the very beginning. But if you're going to, play casually, then yeah, I mean, the A95K is probably the better way to go. Um, just because you're not looking for that high end performance, you know what I mean? So at that point, like with the input lag and things like that, you're not looking for that at that particular moment because it's more of a casual type of gaming. So, um, and if you're looking for more visuals and things like that, you're gonna love the A95K. But I'm gonna say, as far as like overall performance, when you want to include like the performance, the motion, things like that, then yeah, you're probably gonna want to go with the G2. The gaming experience, like the way you feel involved in the game because there's really no input lag, is a lot better in the G2. It just you don't feel it. It's more instant. When you hit block, it blocks right away. When you hit, it hits right away. You don't. There's no delay. So that's pretty much my experience when it comes to this that topic basically. But as you can see, like picture wise, um, the color is definitely more saturated. Keep in mind too, the mode that I'm in is they're both VRRs on. ALLM are both on in this, and standard mode is on both of them. Color is about the same in the middle, things like that. Brightness is cranked probably towards 50. I'm sorry, no, not 50, more like 40 on the A95K. It's cranked a little bit higher on the uh, the G2, and the reason why it is because you know, as you can see, even with the color up higher, it can't get to that level of brightness or that level of clarity, just all around sharpness as the A95K. Does it still look stunning? 100%. You're really not even going to notice the difference when you're staring at the two. So that's kind of my take on that. So here's the crazy part is, yeah, is it nicer? Is the A95K have a better picture? Yeah. I mean, look at the sun. Look at how it's more like colorful and orange. Look at the rocks. How it looks like it has detail in it. Things like that. But the G2 just has a better motion processing system, like when you're in fast motion or when you're fighting and things like that. And you're looking left and right really quick, um, you can see it better what you're doing in the G2. And I'm sorry to say, that's just my personal experience. I know a lot of people are going to beg to differ, but I'm just really talking about gaming. I'm talking about in standard mode, and with all the features turned on, like VRR, ALLM, things like that. So again, it's a personal opinion, guys. But sometimes, like scenes like this, is why I went here on purpose. Is because, again, in my personal opinion, as you can tell, because the QD OLED kind of gears a lot more towards like the reds, as you can see, um, it it does tend to some in certain scenes look a little overly saturated, like in these instances when the G2 looks a lot more natural, and then like the reflections in the water in that little pond right there look a little bit better in the G2 because the reflection's still super hot red, so it's kind of like blowing out a lot of the detail in the reflection in the water. So that's another thing that kind of like sometimes in certain scenes it just looks like it's way too much color, You know what I mean? And this is one of them. So that's another thing that, you know, you kind of have to take into consideration. So um, just a thought for you guys. So now, if I take you back over here, like if you actually look, trying to get these greens, like the G2 just looks beautiful. Like it looks natural. It looks flow. Like the motion, it's just it flows really well. It just looks like perfect. Sometimes, like in the A95K, as you can tell, um, like the oranges and the reds, they do get just blown out a little bit. Like if you look at the like little flower on the right next to the grass, that's kind of orange and glowing. It's like it's very red, very like hot red, very orange. I'm not sure if you're a fan of that, but here I'll get closer to it. And if you look, like you see how like on the G2 it just kind of has more of like a lighter, more natural glow to it, and then it's a little bit more saturated in A95K. So this is a personal preference thing. I get it, guys. But you know, I'm just trying to show you what my personal take on it is. That's all. So we'll go back out here. Like even this scene right here. Like if you look while he's walking towards the white, the outside, the end of the cave, like see how like the A95K has more of like a pink kind of hue to it, and then the G2 is definitely more white. Obviously, that has to do with the technology and the panels, but you know, and their image processing. But you can just tell like the whites are definitely more white with any regular OLED, especially with the LGs. Um, so that's like a big advantage that I feel the G2 has over the A95K, because no matter what you do, you can't get that kind of white in an A95K or an S95B with the QD OLED. But then you go over here, and then you start to see other advantages with the A95K. Like look at the sky. Look how blue the sky is in the A95K. And on the G2, kind of looks a little bit more washed out. Um, you know, a little bit more white in the blue. I guess that's the best way to say it. And not as much detail in the clouds either. So like there is more detail in the cloud, but again, because the cloud is white, the because clouds are naturally white, there's pink in the cloud in the A95K, even though it has more details. So just little things like that, you know what I mean, that you have to take into consideration. And again, you can change the settings in your way and everything, but at this, you know, it's all personal preference. This is kind of the way I set them up, as I was saying before. But yeah, now, actually, you know what? Let's go down to here. I just want to show you another area. I like the showing people Sindri's house because there's a lot of color in Sindri's house. All right, so let's go back to Sindri's. Yes. So, all right, now when you're coming to look at like a lot of the blues and stuff, or the like here, this is a very blue area. Um, so one of the things that I noticed about the A95K is it like when you're looking at things that are supposed to be gray, kind of makes them more blue. Like I don't know if you notice, if you go back into the beginning of the video when I turned the game on, that menu that is loading the screen after you hit continue, and then it's basically like a black background with the smoke, and while you're waiting for the game to load, if you notice, you're gonna notice that the smoke, I wish I went back to show you guys. The smoke on the A95K is more like a bluish gray, and then the G2 is like what it should really be looking like an actual gray smoke. So that's another thing that I feel, because I feel like gray is kind of geared more towards white. It looks more natural, and the G2 wins in that perspective. Um, when you look at his suit, I don't know like which way it's supposed to look because, um, I mean, I'm guessing that it's supposed to look more red than it does in the G2, but it's not supposed to look that red in the A95K. Um, that's a little so red it kind of starts to look like almost like a hot pink, like a, but again, I mean, if it is the dragon armor chest, so um, and dragon skin is extremely red, almost like dragon fruit, and that's probably why they call it that. But it's what do you guys think? What's your opinion? Think what do you guys feel is better for you? So other advantages of why, as a gamer, you would pick the G2 is obviously it has four 2.1 HDMI ports that run at 4K 120 hertz. I mean, you can't beat that. Um, you have the maturity of the technology through LG with the OLED technology. You have the build quality, the reliability. You have all the gaming features for all four HDMI ports: G-Sync, FreeSync, VRR, ALLM. So the list goes on. And again, all four ports. So you're limited to that with the A95K, and you are paying a higher premium for a smaller screen size. People will argue that the motion processing is next to none on the Sony A95K or Sony in general. Historically, they have been the best, and I get it. But I'm telling you guys, I promise you, I can't. And again, my personal opinion, especially when watching fast motion things, I really, truly feel that the G2 has better motion processing. I really, really do, guys. I can't really stress it any more than I'm stressing. But, um, it's just, it's, especially when you're gaming, I just feel the smoothness a lot more. And there's less lag in the G2 when in motion. And, it can handle the motion a lot better, and especially in fast-paced situations. So that's just again a personal opinion, guys. But I know a lot of people are gonna beg to differ. So um, if you guys have any questions or anything, again, I don't want to make this long. Um, I want to make this kind of short, but that's basically for gaming. Now, what I'm gonna do is cancel this out. I want to go to um, your menu where you can do here. I'll show you guys. Sorry, media, and I want to go to YouTube, and I just want to show you guys some samples here before I let you go. Let's just do like 4K demos, and then we'll do because the cool part is there's a lot of similarities with these two. They both have Dolby Vision. Um, they both have here. I'll just put this one on. All right, so all right. I love this one because of the colors. So as you can see, the blacks are black no matter which way you go. Like whether you're the A95K or whether you're with the LG. Now, if you're looking for more color pop, obviously as you look, you can tell the A95K definitely has that locked down. You can't beat it. You know what I mean? That QD OLED tech you really, really can't beat. As a matter of fact, Sony is very good at showing detail. They gear their TVs to show more detail. And the crazy part is if you really look, like you see where the brush is, if you look at the little hairs at the end, not the top of the brush, but the very end where the paint is, there's another like gap there of the wood, and then like a slight yellow like paint that you can barely see on the LG, but you can really, really see on the. Here, I'm gonna bring the TV closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Or I'm sorry, the camera closer. But you see this right here? Like, look at that. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to detail. And you see on the G2, you can barely see it. So things like that, you know what I mean? Bring out the best of the image when it comes to like color and things like that. Now, when it comes to, and this is a demo that doesn't have a lot of fast motion, but um, you can just tell here, again, perfect example. The blacks are all perfectly black. Um, but when you really look at the lighter colors, because again, the WO LEDs really have that white advantage or lighter advantages to make things look more natural. Like if you look at the G2, like you see the little wooden piece, you see how it's a lot more natural looking than the A95K. The A95K makes it look a little bit more orange, not as real, kind of looks artificial. So there's trade-offs to these TVs, as you can tell. So like if you're really just trying to look out and max out your color volume, you're probably going to go with the A95K. If you want a more natural look, but if you want the best all-around TV, you're probably going to go with the G2. So my overall opinion, right, is with these two TVs is it's really tough because everyone's different. But what I will say is that if you want the best all-around experience, um, they both have the build quality, they both have the reliability. I would have to really honestly say you're probably going to go with the LG just because of what you get for the money. It does end up um, just being to me personally a better experience. Now I have these TVs for months. I played hours and hours, multiple hours with these gaming. I've watched endless content with these gaming with these panels. I've I mean, the list goes on and on. I've basically from end to end all around just you know did everything I possibly could as far as the settings go, things like that. And my overall experience with these two TVs, if I had to choose between them, I would definitely go for the G2 over the A95K. I understand the A95K has the better colors and things like that. As you can clearly tell, the colors look better, but when it comes to actually like watching sports, or playing video games, watching content on Netflix and things like that. Um, it's just something about the G2 that is they like really perfected the TV, and it's really hard to tell. They hard to really say, but my whole thing is with 2023 with their new MLA technology, and now they're gonna get that color volume gap narrowed down now, um, where it's gonna start looking more like the QD OLEDs, and as far as color goes, I think you're really gonna start to see, and that's why I'm holding off on the Samsung 77-inch S95C. It's because I'm really waiting for that LG. LG does a great job. They know the system very well. I know MLA is a new technology, but you know, even when OLED was a new technology, they did great. So, you know, they're not going to fail. I highly doubt they're going to fail, and I am going to wait. And I know that the price points are going to be a lot higher, but you know what, there's really nothing else you can really you can really do when you when you while you're waiting. There's just nothing else you can do. So I have another here you go, hold on. I have another sample for you guys here, just to show you. Now, all right, let's stop it right here. Greens are a big deal to me. Now, looks like the green on the A95k is definitely more saturated, but looks better in my opinion when it's like a green like this. When it's a green in like nature, I want it to look more like it does on the right. So there's like different things, you know what I mean? Look at the red socks. I mean, are they really supposed to be that red like they are in the A95k? I highly doubt it. They look so red that they're starting to look like they're hot pink, just like the shoes and the hat. On the G2, it looks a lot better, subtle but still red. I love that look. And then look at the rain jacket that the girl is or the guy's wearing. I think it's a guy. I'm not sure. Anyways, the uh, the rain jacket obviously looks more natural and more normal the way it's supposed to look on the G2 than it does on the A95k. The A95k is like yellow, but it's starting to turn into like an orange. It's weird, things like that. Not a big fan of it. So, again, if you that's what you're looking for, if you want the more natural look, yeah, the G2 is going to be the way to go. So, but now let's look at like skin tones and stuff like that. Watch. All right. So, look at the skin tones right here. I'm going to bring it closer because it's harder to see on the A95K. But if you get closer, I know a lot of you people really appreciate the close-ups. All right, you can tell, like, it's almost like captures all the artificial, like, makeup that, and or everything that they put on her to make her look the way she does. Like, which is a great job for the A95K that it can even do that. But it just looks fake. Now here, get closer. Look at how like natural her natural skin looks. Like you're not seeing any of that makeup or anything that they put on for her. It's amazing like how the G2 makes it look. So, me personally, I really like the G2 in that perspective. But the crazy part is like if you look at the background, right? Here, I'll get closer again. Like those like blue lines look so much better to me than they do here on the G2. That's just my perspective. But they have like a more of like a LED light look to them in the A95K than they do in the G2. The G2 does make it look more dim. So, they struggle with certain colors, and then with the A95K, and then it struggles with other colors in the G2. So there's trade-offs, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I would really, here's a good demo. What I would pretty much here, I have to put that down. I don't know if I'm allowed to show the ads. So I'm sorry if this isn't a perfect, but here we go. Sorry, guys. I like this a lot, this demo, because it's got a lot of colors. And this is going to be the last one. But I mean, you can just tell right off the rip. Here, I'm going to pause it right here. Oh, sorry, right here. you know, they're probably going to look very similar in a lot of ways, um, and in other ways different. But like you can tell, you know, the QD OLED, the A95K, just definitely has more of a specular highlight type of tone to it, more detail in these situations right here. Um, and I even think the blacks are actually better on here. So the nice part about the LG though is even though it's not as fiery red and not as like bright yellow, um, the what I do like about it is that the whites inside those colors are really flowing very nicely. They're not as blown out, and you know they tend to it tends to make it look better in certain scenes, like when you're walking and you're looking at the sky, or you know you are racing on a racetrack like Gran Turismo, and you the sky in the background and the clouds look more natural. It doesn't look as pink. So you know there's certain things, but again, um, if I had to choose between the two personally, I have them both obviously as you can see, and I'm an owner of both of them, and I'm going to continue to own them. Um, but I would probably have to go with the G2 just because of the overall experience. That's my personal opinion, guys, um, and that's kind of where I stand. So tell me what you guys think. Is there a reason why you would pick the A95K over the G2, or is there a reason why you would pick the G2 over the A95K, and why? Um, I know a lot of people are saying I'm crazy for thinking that the motion processing is better on the G2, but I'm sorry, guys. I own these two TVs. I use them a lot, and that's I strongly feel that way, and I don't know. It's just the way it is. But look at this picture here. As you can tell, the A95K definitely looks better um, as far as the yellows go, the greens go. Um, the whites are a little bit washed out, but it definitely has more detail. Like you can see the bubbles better on the A95K. You can here. I'll walk up closer. I know a lot of people really appreciate these close-ups here, but I'll go close up to the A95K. Look at that detail. I mean, you can even see the detail like the little lines in the lemon. Can't really see it as good on the G2, but again, it does look more natural. You know what I mean? And the whites are not as blown out on the G2. Like in the A95K, the ice, literally, they look like crystals. Um, you know what I mean? It almost looks fake, which is awesome because there's, in real life, they do look like crystals. But, anyways, I'll just let that rock out. So, what do you guys think? What's your personal opinion on these? Do you have the two TVs? Are you excited for the 2023 models? What model would you get? Are you waiting for the G3 or the C3? I'm personally waiting for the G3. I really want to check out that MLA technology. I heard it looks amazing. And that is LG's response to Samsung's QD OLED, following with Sony using Samsung's QD OLED panels. So that is going to be their answer back. I can't wait, and I'll do a side by side once I get my hands on one. Um, Honestly, because of the size of the TV, I am considering getting rid of the A95K um, because I do game a lot, and I have the S95B, and the picture quality is spot on, basically the same. Very minor differences, and I do feel that the um, the S95B, for the price and all the gaming features it has, is a better deal than the A95K. Um, and I I know the A95K technically is a better TV, especially because it has a Dolby Vision, which I'm a huge fan of. But I'm more of an all around experience kind of person as far as what I put my money towards. And I might be getting rid of the A95K for to replace it with either the Samsung QD OLED 77-inch, the S90C, or the S95C. Um, but I'm going to wait until the LG G3 comes out so I can do my own personal comparison before I buy and see which one I want to go with. I want to see them on display or somewhere, or whatever the case is. Maybe Best Buy will have one. I don't know, but I'll find a way to check it out and I'll go from there. And that's where I stand. But I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up with the LG. Um, but who knows? Because Samsung is definitely killing it lately, and I'm really excited. Who knows? I might even end up with both and go broke, but I don't know. So tell me what you guys think. Again, I want to thank you guys all for watching the video. Thank you guys all for subscribing. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. My channel is growing little by little. I wish it could grow a little bit faster. I'm hoping that my videos can help everyone. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I appreciate it, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.